Hello everyone, I am Sneha Shah, a physical therapist. Today I'm going to show you exercises for frozen shoulder. So what happens in the frozen shoulder is that due to immobility or trauma, a person would stop moving their joint, which creates like a vicious cycle of pain and immobility. Adhesions form inside the shoulder joint, which are like small knots that would restrict the joint movement. So the most important part is to go through the pain and then move your shoulder as much as possible. The exercises that I'll show you today, you can do by yourself at your house using common tools that are readily available. I would highly recommend using a heating pad for 15 to 20 minutes around the shoulder joint to improve the blood flow and decrease the stiffness. We will start with the swinging exercises first. These exercises would make the joint a little bit looser before you actually try to stretch the knots that have formed in the joint. I'm using a water bottle here. You can use a half-pound weight or 1 pound weight if you have available at home. So you move your feet apart, lean forward. I'm assuming my right shoulder is affected, so I'm holding the bottle in the right hand. And then let the hand swing freely in the air, front and back, front and back. You can do this about 20 times. Then you move the hand in and out about 20 times with this exercise too. And then you move the hand between your legs and then circle it, small circles. You can do that clockwise and then anti-clockwise. This will get the joint going and will make the further exercises a little easier. The next two exercises is to stretch the shoulder joint and break the adhesions that have formed inside the joint capsule. The adhesions are mostly on the back side, the posterior side, and under the axilla. So the first one is to stretch the posterior joint capsule. For that, you put your affected hand on the opposite shoulder and gently push your arm towards the opposite shoulder using your other hand. When you do that, you will feel stretching here on the back and the side of your shoulder joint. Sustain the stretch for at least 20 to 30 seconds as tolerated, and then bring your hand down on your lap, let it relax. Try to repeat this at least 3 times. Make sure the stretch is sustained and gentle at the same time for 20 to 30 seconds. And bring it down. Now to stretch the adhesions in the inferior part of the joint, you put your hand on the same shoulder and move your arm up as much as you can tolerate. And then gently push the arm up with your other hand while feeling the stretch underneath the axilla, underneath the armpit, and hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat the same at least 3 times. Then comes the actual exercises. Since we have stretched the adhesions, your goal is to move the joint in the newly gained range, the range that you achieved by stretching those knots. So I'm going to use this cane. When you're using any device to help with the exercises, our goal is to use the stronger hand to help the weaker hand. I'm going to keep my palms facing up and then move your shoulders up as much as you can. Once you start feeling pain, you use your other side to stretch it a little further, maybe 2 to 3 degrees, as much as you can tolerate, and try to hold it there for 3 to 5 seconds and then bring it down. Repeat the same. Lift your hand up as much as you can until you feel the pain, and then use your opposite hand to stretch it a little further, about 2 to 3 degrees each time. And bring it down. The next exercise is to make the side movement easier and get more motion sidewards and upwards. So for that, you put your hand against the handle of the cane and then the left hand goes in the center. Now with your left hand, you push the right hand as far as possible until you feel the pain, and then push it slightly more, 2 to 3 degrees beyond the point where you feel the pain. If you can, try to hold for 3 to 5 seconds and bring it down. Repeat the same about 10 to 15 times. Start with fewer repetitions, and as your tolerance increases, you can increase the number of reps as well. Then we are going to work on the rotations. So it's easy to start with the arms by the side and gently moving the shoulders sideways. Make sure you're not moving your elbows and the movement is coming from the shoulder. Now the rotations are severely restricted in frozen shoulder. So as you see the mobility is increasing with this particular exercise, you can change the position of the cane by holding it backwards from the center. And then with the left hand, push your right hand to move it sideways. Like this, you will gain the movement in the mid-range. And then to achieve the end range motion for rotation, hold the cane as if you're wiping your back with a towel after a shower. So the handle goes up on the right hand and hold the cane from the bottom with the left hand, and then you want to push the right hand with the left. You can add a 3 to 5 second hold if possible. This is how you hold the cane. Again, the right hand goes up on the handle and you're pushing the right hand with the left and moving the cane up and down gently. You can switch the side of the cane by moving the left hand up and the right hand down to gain internal rotation range. So in this one, you're pushing the cane down with the left hand and then up. Push down with the left hand and then pull it up with the left at the same time. You can add a 3 to 5 second hold at the point where you can tolerate the pain. Now, if it's hard for you to exercise the shoulder in sitting or standing, you can start the exercises in the bed. Lay on your back, and then the hand placement and the exercises would still remain the same. The difference is that in the bed, the gravity will help to push the joint a little bit further. Let me know if this exercises were helpful, or if you have any questions, or if you need any recommendations on exercises for frozen shoulder. Thank you for watching.